let's see if we can find somebody who knows the answer to the stupid question this morning. And we are going to go to Mark. Check in with him via Zoom. Hey, Mark. Good morning, sir.
Hey, YouTube Mark here. How are you?
Nice to see you, buddy. All right, so here is your question. According to Tommy Two-Tone, how much does a phone call cost?
For the price of a dime.
That is correct, sir. Nice job. Hang on. And the reason I thought of Kathy is because if you do not know it, Kathy once gave her phone number to Bill Weston.
Yeah, when we first started working at MMR, he asked for, he was putting our phone numbers in his phone.
Yeah, and it was like 610-867-5309.
And he put it in, and years later, he goes, I called you at home, and your phone is disconnected. Do you not have a landline anymore? I go, what home number? I go, what home number do you have for me? And he read it out loud, and we were all like, no.
Were you cracking up when
I was, and I think he cracked up, too, when he eventually realized. I was like, Bill, read that number again.
All right, Mark, hang on, buddy. We're going to give you a pair of tickets. It's MMR Rocks Whitney Cummings at the Miller Theater, Saturday, November 22nd. Tickets are on sale now via Ticketmaster. You can go to WMMR.com for more information. All right, I do have some stories to pass along to you. This is a follow-up, man. Jimmy Wayne Carwile was arrested Monday, actually, after driving through the gates of Jennifer Aniston's home in Los Angeles. We told you about this, and this led to police opening an investigation into possible stalking case.
Yeah.
Because I had mentioned the guy was like 71 years old. I was thinking,
I want a Whopper.
maybe he had a condition or something. I don't know.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's what I thought.
71's not crazy old or anything like that, but,
It's old enough.
I wasn't thinking about being a stalker of Jennifer Aniston.
Yeah.
LAPD's Threat Management Unit is handling the incident, and authorities are reviewing social media activity linked to Carwile, including a Facebook post where he referred to Aniston as his bride.
So they're married? I didn't know that.
He was booked.
But now you can understand his ire that she was locking him out of their home.
He was booked on suspicion of felony vandalism and is being held without bail in the Los Angeles County Jail. Aniston was home during the incident, but was unharmed and did not encounter this guy.
Now he's sitting in there thinking, time to switch to Courtney Cox.
I guess so. Okay, this is messed up. Smokey Robinson.
Yes.
The great singer has been accused of sexual assault by 4 former employees in a lawsuit filed in Los Angeles Superior Court. The 85-year-old Motown legend faces allegations including sexual battery, assault, false imprisonment, gender violence, and creating a hostile work environment.
Now, I've never heard anything of a scandalous nature attached to Smokey Robinson. Have you?
No, and listen to these allegations because there's some things that need to be hashed out. The complaint claims that Robinson's behavior was willful, wanton, and malicious with a conscious disregard for the plaintiff's right and privacy. His wife, Frances Robinson, is also named in the suit for allegedly knowing about his misconduct and failing to stop it. So the ladies in this suit are classified as Jane Doe. So Jane Doe 1 alleges the assault began in March 2023 and was repeated. Jane Doe 2 claims she was forced to resign in 2020 after experiencing harassment that began in 2016. Jane Doe 3 alleges that Robinson raped her from behind. I'm using this from the story. Raped her from behind at least 20 times during her employment from 2012 to 2024. And during her, the plaintiffs are seeking at least $50 million damages. So, I mean, listen, I think all evidence needs to be heard, but the fact that you worked there for 12 years and were raped 20 times, and this is the first time it's coming out, I don't know.
I was watching, maybe it was TMZ Live or something, but they were dissecting this, and listen, you always this needs to be investigated, clearly be horrific if this is in fact the case.
Yeah.
But the detective or the investigator they were talking to was saying, honestly, it does raise a lot of questions.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So we'll see. We'll follow that as it develops. Lighter stories. Anna Wintour runs her Met Gala with an iron fist, of course, but some stars are slipping through her fingers. One strict rule for the gala, and we talked about this the other day, no phones allowed. However, some celebs weren't going to let the night go by without content for their socials. So here are a few of the invitees who ignored the rule.
Yes.
Megan Thee Stallion, Halle Bailey, and Questlove.
Yeah.
And apparently they took videos and pictures for the event, and while it's unclear exactly what the consequences are for celebrities breaking the rule. It is rumored the rule breakers may risk not getting invited the next year.
Could you imagine?
Yeah, Marissa shared with us the Questlove stuff from, I guess you sent it to us yesterday, maybe? Yeah, it was like pictures or video in the bathroom or whatever.
Yeah, there's like 50 people all in the bathroom and taking a big selfie in the mirror. Yeah, it looks fun.
It does seem fun. And how can you expect all these people who live and die by this stuff to not do it?
Yeah, so what, Marissa? Oh, I'm sorry. Yes.
I feel like the bathroom selfie has come out a bunch over the years, but it's the other Questlove video that got me, where he actually recorded people like singing and dancing within the venue.
Okay.
So
And that's the one that that's the one that got me, because I haven't really seen.
So you
that
say you
before.
can understand the stuff in the crapper, but the stuff out on the main.
Yeah. Steve, like the bathroom selfie has just kind of become like a common thing.
Right.
But this, you see like Quinta Brunson dancing, and you see people playing and kind of out of their full-on costume. So I think this is the stuff that really gets.
I'm surprised they don't have to turn their phones over. Or I mean, I guess maybe they just sneak them in or whatever. Back to that bathroom picture, though. I was in a bathroom on Saturday. I had to go to a party at PJ Wellingham's. There was an entire bridal party in the bathroom, and the bathroom was not large. Like there's only 3 stalls in there, and there was an entire bridal party in the bathroom practicing a dance. So the bride, who was also there, didn't see them. And I was like, excuse me, trying to get through to get to the stall. And they're like, all right, ready, 5, 6, 7, 8. And dancing. It was really funny.
Wow. So anyhow, we'll see if these peeps get invited back next year or not.
I don't know. I don't know if I could live with myself if I was taken off the list.
Speaking of Quinta Brunson, she has shown her love for Philadelphia, and now the city is returning the favor. The Abbott Elementary Stars to be given the key to the city by Mayor Sherelle L. Parker on May 28th. Cool. And will also help dedicate an original mural at her elementary alma mater, Andrew Hamilton School, which served as the inspiration for the comedy series.
We need to get Lisa Ann Walter to broker, an interview with Quinta, because she's amazing. We love her.
And she's actually coming back to town in July.
All right.
That's why I reacted like that. I'm like, I just answered an email about Lisa Ann Walter. Last night.
Quinta said, I'm so grateful to be receiving the key from my hometown, Philly, and this city shaped me, and now I get to give back with a mural that celebrates all it gave me, and I am truly honored.
So in the teaser reel for the new season of It's Always Sunny, they're showing their take on that episode that aired on Abbott Elementary, and it looks great.
I wonder if Rob will ever get a key to the city.
He should.
Or has he? Or a mural. I wonder if we will ever get a key to the city or a mural.
You know my caveat for that. The key, by my reckoning, should literally open every door in the city.
Yeah.
Yeah, I literally have been having conversations about a WMR mural for years now.
Yeah.
There's a listener, artist, and muralist. His name's John. I mean, literally last week we were just talking about it because, the 60th anniversary or 60th birthday is coming up in just a couple of years.
Yeah.
So, but we've been talking about it.
I don't think they're going to make the 100.
Right.
No, we won't. But, so, I mean, at least we have people on our side.
Yeah. Seems to do nothing.
That would
does
be
it?
cool. And, some faces throughout the years that were of the DJs, obviously Pierre and John DeBella, 2 of the biggies that should be on a mural like that.
Here's my idea. As you cross the Ben Franklin Bridge, every building facing that way should be a member of the show as high as the building is.
I love that.
Yeah.
Maybe if we can get Mayor Parker to come to a camp out again, if we agreed with her that we'll never make fun of EAGEES again, that she gets us a key.
Maybe.
We won't do that. Give us a key.
Okay. All right. So we got a bargaining chip.
Yeah,
I like it. All right. Kim and Kylie Kardashian were at the Met Gala, as was Mom Kendall. But where was Khloe? Followers of her Instagram know she was home babysitting the kids and cheering the mom and her sisters on from the couch.
Go!
Yeah, what? You go to the party.
Walk!
She posted several clips to her
Eat hors d'oeuvres!
Instagram.
Go!
She posted several clips to her Instagram stories of the group watching the Met Gala entrances and cheering on their family members.
Get out of that limo! What the hell is that?
So dumb.
Cheering them on.
They did it!
Pose!
They won! Eat that hot dog!
So
Jenner probably would be having hot dogs at the Met Gala. But
although most of the Kardashian-Jenner kids stayed home, Kim's eldest daughter, North, was with Mom, helping her prep for the event.
sorry I couldn't be there. I'm taking core samples of Saturn.
Ooh. Yeah.
Pretty cool, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
I love you all, people of Earth. One day I shall return.
All right, let's see. This is pretty cool. David Spade has revealed that he was pitched a sequel to Tommy Boy, and he turned it down flat. He told the story of how he was offered the opportunity to reprise the role of Richard Hayden in a sequel, and for Spade, no Farley equals no movie.
So the consensus is the sequel was Black Sheep, yeah.
No. So he said, I was pitched a Tommy Boy 2, which was our characters' kids are together. So that was the concept.
My God.
He said, I was pitched this 2 years ago, so just not that long.
Just recently, okay.
And he said, I was like, I can't find a scenario with no Chris Farley. He was the whole movie. It would be too much of a sellout, and I can't imagine it. No one could do that. It was our kids, and it was about them, and I was going to help them on the road. And he said, listen, it was about Chris. If we did another one back then, it would have been a blast, but no.
Agreed. Now, Chris Farley has a brother who's a talented guy. He's not Chris Farley.
No.
He looks like Chris Farley.
Have I ever seen him in
I have
you?
no idea who that guy is.
Yeah, he's shown up and stuff, especially like Chris Farley tributes over the years, and he really looks a lot like him. He acts like him, but he's a little bit more toned down.
Yeah, exactly.
And he tried to do some comedy stuff. It's kind of, Casey, it's like Brian Doyle Murray, or the other Murray that was in the
Like Joel Murray.
Joel Murray.
Yeah,
Think of Joel Murray to Bill, and the Chris Farley's brother to Chris.
But you know what? In that family, Anne Murray did quite well.
Did she?
Yeah, with their her Canadian songs.
No. So I was happy to see this. For fans of the 90s dramedy series Northern Exposure, it may be time to revisit Sicily, Alaska.
You love that show.
I love that show. Series star Rob Morrow and Janine Turner are reuniting for a rewatch podcast. The two who played the show's Dr. Joel Fleischman and Maggie O'Connell are teaming up to give fans behind-the-scenes views of the show.
So you know what's happened? There's become an entire industry based on these rewatch podcasts. So you get the stars, a la The Office, or Smallville has been a big one recently, and they all gather and they literally watch and dissect each of the episodes, and then those tend to manifest into like conventions and cruises.
Yeah. I mean, if you go a little further back, DVDs, the extras.
Exactly.
Sometimes it would be the stars sitting down to watch the entire movie.
Right.
I watched it for the 30th anniversary of The Breakfast Club, and I loved it.
Yeah.
It was great. They were sitting there talking, bringing it down scene by scene of it. Oh, man, when we shot this, I was going to wear a tutu, or something.
Yeah.
They're telling you some
You love
story.
it. If you're a fan, you love to hear that stuff.
It's great. So this will be fun for fans of the show. It launches in audio and video form on May 20th with weekly episodes. Northern Exposure ran from 1990 to 1995. So that'll be a fun little exploration of that.
My wife just binged the entire thing, Preston. And
Really?
She got completely into it, and it sort of just became, even though she'd never really watched it before, it became comfort food for her. It's still well written. I watched a bunch of the episodes with her, and it holds up.
Yeah.
It's a good show.
It was a smart show, yeah. So let's see. Disney's live-action Snow White movie has gotten its digital release date. The movie starring Rachel Zegler and Gal Gadot hits theater or digital platforms May 13th. And that means it'll be available like on Prime Video, Apple TV, Fandango at home. It will also be available on June 24th on 4K Ultra HD, Blu-ray, and DVD. The releases will include bloopers, deleted scenes, featurettes, a sing-along version, and more.
Here's audio one of the bloopers, Preston.
Oh, dopey.
Hilarious, dopey. You little bastard. This is a new dress.
So far, however, release date for Disney Plus has not been revealed as yet. That was an outtake. So I'm going to mention this because we have the stars of this show in our studio trying. One of Apple TV Plus's longest-running series is going to run a bit longer. The stream announced yesterday the show is renewed for a 5th season. They were so nice.
They were terrific. So I did 3 seasons and kind of just rocked through them. I love them. They're completely charismatic and wonderful.
Yeah.
This is good news. I'll jump in. And I'm coming to the finish line on 3 separate series, Preston. So I might port over to that one again.
Season 5 will find Nikki, played by Esther Smith, and Jason, who is Rafe Spall, dealing with the consequences of Princess and Tyler's biological mother, Kat, played by Charlotte Riley, turning up at their doorstep, causing chaos. So I was happy to see that that's continuing on. It's been successful for those guys, as they were so nice.
They're super sweet.
Yeah. All right. And then one last story. Let's end with this one. Sportscaster Stephen A. Smith is fulfilling one of his lifelong dreams. He is going to be a victim on Law and Order.
Oh, I want to do that.
Yes. So,
You know what his first big bucket list item was? Being on our show.
and he lived that dream.
He lived that dream.
According to the show's official logline, it's going to air this Thursday, by the way. It says a tough love sports agent is found stabbed to death, leaving the squad with a trail of suspects who wanted him gone. Despite there being a ton of evidence, Price and Moran think that a lack of motive could hurt their case. In an interview with Variety, Smith shared that he's very excited to join the storied series. He said that's part of the bucket list, being on Law and Order, but not being the corpse. My goal is to ultimately be a lawyer in the courtroom, going up against the attorneys. Law and Order you can catch on NBC, 8 p.m. Eastern.
So there are rumors that he might consider a political career.
Really?
So, yes, he is very savvy. He is taken a deep dive. He's saying things that appeal to people across the aisle. And so if he parlays that, who knows? You never know.
Okay.
That's what my aunt used to say.
So we got some clips to play. Darren Barnett has been climbing his way up the Hollywood ladder since his first TV appearance.
Read that a little bit slower as I try and grab these clips and put them into a different thing here.
Well, I'm not going to go that slow.
I know.
All right, so he has been climbing his way up the Hollywood ladder since his first TV appearance in 2017. In this clip, he talks about his close relationship with co-star Dermot Mulroney in the Chicago Med Universe. You want to hit it?
Yep.
Okay.
I was just stoked that he was going to be in Chicago while I was, because it was making the transition quicker. I also just get warm and fuzzy every time I hear Dermot's name. He's been a great, older brother type mentor to me since I've met him. Love that man very much.
Oh, God, don't care.
A new episode of Chicago Med airs today. That's on NBC. Here's our next clip. You ready for this one?
Yes, sir.
All right, I'll fire this one up, Case. The new A24 comedy Friendship is about a stubborn dad befriending his neighbor. And in this clip, Paul Rudd talks about standout comedy cast and co-star Tim Robinson.
Both of them are so talented, so funny, so kind of all about the minor chords and the getting laughs and nuance, and it's not about punchlines, it's about behavioral kind of comedy and awkwardness.
Friendship premieres in theaters on Friday.
Word of mouth is very good on this movie.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
I thought it was out already.
So did I.
Because
I
we've
did too.
talked about, actually, the release date on IMDb is 2024. And I know we've talked about it a bunch. And somebody, maybe it was Kevin Smith or somebody asked us if we'd seen it yet.
I think I was asking, because I was asking, it might have been Will Forte.
Okay.
And it was concerning the, I had asked, I said you would probably work well in the, I think you should leave now, series, again, because he'd done that one bit, and it was great, where he was a disgruntled airline traveler, and he brought up the movie. Yeah, that's
Okay.
what it was.
Okay. So, it says, according to here, that it opens on Friday.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, all right. And that is what I have in the entertainment report for you this morning. Wow.
So it debuted 8 months ago at the Toronto International Film Festival. So we've heard about this for a long, long time. So
did
that's
the festival route?
Yeah, did the festival
gotcha.
circuit. Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
gotcha. All right, now we got all that cleared up. We can take a break, come back in a moment. We got a lot going on today. Several guests are joining us. We have lots of stuff to give away, including 20 money and some friends from restaurants that are stopping in. So we'll spell it all out for you in a little while. Stay put. We'll be right back.
Preston and Steve on 93.
My mother, who's in her early 70s, brought over some potato salad. It was delicious. I went over to my mother's house a week later. I saw the mayo jar. Expiration date was written on the top of 2005.
So is that the secret? Is that the secret?
So, and her excuse was, well, it's been kept cold.
Yeah.
Oh, dear God.
I don't know if I believe
I
that.
would have died.
Wow.
Yeah,
Okay. Interesting.
Nobody got sick, so I
Try to keep the mayo that you're using
Sean.
within the decade you're living in.
All right, this sounds weird. I'm going to go to Bob. Hey, Bob, good morning.
Hello.
Hey, Bob, you're on the air, bud.
Yeah, just want to say something. There used to be a Cajun cook on the TV. I can't remember what channel. His name was Justin Wilson.
Yeah,
He used to
that'd be hot. I guarantee. He used to say that all the time.
Yeah, and he used to make a potato salad without potatoes. It was made with saltine crackers and salad dressing instead of mayo.
What? That sounds disgusting.
That's
interesting. Did you try? I like Justin Wilson. I used to watch him. I used to watch him all the time.
You know what That's filet mignon. I made it with crackers.
Did you ever try it, Rob?
Yeah.
And was it good?
No.
Yeah, it was real good.
All right.
He says it was real good.
All right. Nick,
I don't know how the hell you do that.
Nick actually found a video of him in the recipe. I'm going to check that out, Rob. Thanks, man.
Hey, you're welcome. You guys have a good day.
You too.
Thanks.
Listening to your show, all right?
Oh, thank you, man.
Buddy. I appreciate it. Actually, his name's Bob. I called him Rob. But yeah, Justin Wilson, I used to watch him.
Was this right before he was committed?
It may have been.
Look at this. I'm making potato out of crackers.
Nick found the video of him. He looks pretty advanced in age when he did the non-potato potatoes.
I'm making chocolate milk out of corn.
All right. Well, anyhow, I would like you to further these discussions amongst your coworkers today.
Make sure that they feel safe. Don't approach them too hard with outlandish salads right off the bat.
Right. Ease into it a little bit.
Yeah. Make them feel comfortable.
Look, we completely forgot about fruit salad. We needed your input today to determine the greatest salads of all time.
Given my druthers, though, I will take savory salads over sweet salads any day.
I'll take any of those. Wow. Okay. Interesting. All right. I told you it was a stupid conversation. Thank you for being a part of it. We're going to take a break. When we return, other dumb things to talk about and an announcement to make about a really cool event coming to the area that we think you are going to love. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Thank you, Kathy. A little later on, we're going to get head coach John Tortorella of the Flyers, new head coach. We're going to chat with him in just a few minutes. But in the meantime, time to talk about some other things. I caught this article over the weekend, and it's a phenomenon that I think we've all had experience with. I had a couple of weeks ago the scenario where I woke up hour and a half before my alarm was going to go off.
Yeah.
And just could not get back to sleep. And but it can be even worse when you wake up like maybe 15 minutes before your alarm is going off, or 10 minutes, where it's like you have to do that dance of, okay, do I try to go back to her? What's the point? Don't I just go ahead and get up now?
That's what I do.
It's so unsatisfying.
Because the truth of the matter is that, so I have, 2 alarms set to go. I almost always, 95% of the time, beat the alarms up, by 2 or 3 minutes, but you get that 10-minute, Preston. You get that 11 minutes, and you're like, what the F do I do now?
Right.
It's like, just get up. Because I find it... all the bull crap of what do I do sitting in bed, it's a waste. Get up and expend that energy getting ready and just get on with your day. But I mean, it always has to sit right in that sweet spot, right in that horrible sweet spot.
According to the National Institute of Health, studies across the globe show anywhere from 10 to 30% of the population struggles with insomnia.
Well, that I don't have.
Defined as consistently difficulty falling asleep and the inability to return to sleep after going to bed.
Well, if you get up at, I get up at 3:35. If I wake up at 2 o'clock, I'm not going to have any trouble getting back to sleep. But if I wake up again, you're looking at the alarm clock, and you just have minutes. That's where it becomes a pain in the ass.
I have had the few weeks ago where I get up at 3:50 and I woke up at 2, and then I lay back down. I'm like, okay, go back to sleep.
Yeah.
Wait, I can't go back to sleep.
Oh man,
I can't go back to sleep. Lay there for like 40 minutes. It's like, okay, screw it. I'm getting up.
There's the other thing where, and I've had it happen, it's sort of tangential to this, which is the absolutely not having any idea what, I thought, for some reason in my mind, I thought 1 was 3 o'clock, and, invert, and I came in hours early. I told you guys that one morning. But so do they recommend anything if you're going to have that, 10 to 15 minute pre-wake up?
And by the way, there's I was not familiar with this. It goes into a little bit more of insomnia. It says they can have a combination of nocturnal awakenings and what's categorized as early morning awakenings.
Used to have those a lot, you know what I'm saying?
But I mean, as opposed to just the study finds that some people may experience early awakenings without other insomnia symptoms, such as difficulty initiating sleep. So some people can't get to sleep, But nocturnal awakenings and non-restorative sleep, meaning sleep that is substantial even with the recommended hours. But
obviously
that isn't substantial. I'm sorry.
We sing the praises, the truth. With the Sleep Number bed, I get a full night's sleep. Doesn't mean, though, you won't wake up a few minutes early, and when you do, that is an annoying thing I'd like to find out how to deal with.
I have all of these things. Everything you described, I got bad insomnia. I have trouble falling asleep. I have trouble staying asleep. And then the waking up before the alarm, that happens to me too. So I can't remember the last time I got a good night's sleep.
All right, so the constant waking up before that daily sound of your alarm is coupled with an immense frustration about not falling back to sleep. And that stress can feel isolating and all-consuming, taking more precedence than the initial sleep problem. So you just worrying about
that's it.
And that anxiety
not
creeps
falling
in.
back to sleep. And then it's this cycle.
Yeah. Oh, I can't fall back asleep. Why can't I fall back asleep? Oh, I really can't fall back asleep. And then all of that, and then your brain just starts going and going and going.
Now, if I fall asleep now, how many minutes will I actually sleep for?
That's it.
Yeah.
You start doing the damn math, and your brain's working numbers, and you're like, what the hell?
So if you wake up suddenly in what feels like the early morning hours, resist checking the clock. You guys know my little method. I turn the clock around so I can't see it. Finding out it's 3 a.m. when you set the alarm for 7 can cause increased stress about the hours of sleep that you hope to attain. It says you look at the clock, it's 3 o'clock in the morning, like clockwork, and immediately tension might grit your teeth. You think of all the demands, how awful it is to be when you're sleep deprived, and all this mental processing and agitation is antithetical to the sleep state. It's making you more alert and aroused.
Oh, yeah. Massive boner.
Versus sending the signal to the brain that it's okay to drift.
Oh, yeah.
If your alarm is on the phone, checking the clock can pose an even more significant trigger.
Bookie's got a boner.
That's one of my favorite clips. I love it. Play it again.
Okay.
Bookie's got a boner.
Considering getting an alarm that isn't attached to your phone, they say. So when you actually pick up the phone and start looking at it, that can cause you to stay a little bit at work. Now, this is what I did not know, okay?
I did not know that.
And, Steve, this is not the waking up 15 minutes before. This is waking up like a couple hours ahead of time.
Oh, all right.
So, paradoxically, experts say you should get out of bed, even at 3 a.m. I had always heard stay in bed.
What?
Just keep staying there. It says abandon the idea of getting back to sleep. When you do that, when you let the pressure go that sleep isn't so effortful, sleep is more likely to come back.
I'll be fine in surgery later on.
In a stimulus control technique, you can distract your brain with a mundane task to help bring back drowsiness faster than staying frustrated in bed.
Like tap dancing?
Is that mundane?
Yeah.
That's kind of dynamic and exciting, though,
I
isn't
guess
it?
you're right.
Yeah.
So what is a mundane task?
That's a good question. They don't recommend anything in this
Paint your bathroom
list. So get up and clean out the garage. It says as soon as that little voice comes on, change the environment. Get out of bed. Try to reset your brain and keep the lights low. Mentally assigning the bed with sleeping helps people associate positive sleep thoughts with their space. Leaving the room when agitation sets in can separate the frustration from the bed.
So what you're looking to do is extract those connections, and then that makes sense.
All right, here you go, Nick. Anything from reading a book to knitting.
Okay.
Or listening to soft music.
So knit at 3 a.m.
Are Santeria rituals, would they fall into this category?
Sacrificing a chicken at 3 o'clock in the morning might not be a good idea.
I try to read sometimes. That seems to having a book at the, on the bedstand or whatever, that might help.
Would it help more if you were to actually leave the bed, go into another room and read like in a chair?
Yeah, maybe.
Probably.
Right? And that's what they're suggesting here, right? You disassociate that deal.
I think part of the problem for us is just inherently the time at which we have to get up in the morning. Like it's just too damn early. And because it's that early, I know that in the back of my mind. And so I put pressure on myself to get a good night's sleep. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that just, that makes it worse.
The Kathy Romano story, chapter 1.
All right.
Could you imagine if that was the book he was reading? You'd never sleep.
I like the idea of getting up and knitting in the middle of the night.
At
Nick,
3.
So you could,
Knitting, 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 knitting.
He doesn't sound relaxed.
That'll put you to sleep.
I have an alarm clock that actually projects the time on the ceiling. So, and I actually like that. I when I wake up and I'm not sure what time it is, I'm just as many times I'm comforted by the fact that I have 2 hours, an hour and a half left to sleep. You know, that it doesn't bother me that much.
Many people are texting in saying that pleasuring themselves helps them get back to sleep.
What about a stranger?
Pleasuring a stranger or a stranger pleasuring you?
You walk around on, would you like a handy?
I'm sorry. I'm having trouble sleeping.
I noticed you were walking your Shih Tzu. Can I give you a hand job?
That's kind of a mundane task, right?
It's pretty boring for the giver, right?
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to bed now.
Woof, I'm pooped.
Progressive muscle relaxation may work.
Okay, so like morphine.
No, not muscle relaxers.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Muscle relaxation. So start at the toes, clench the given muscles for 3 seconds, and release. And then Kathy, breathe through this process. The 4-7-8 breathing
there it is.
exercise.
You guys have raved about this.
Coupled with
did it
muscle
last night.
relaxation can be successful. Kathy, I did it not that long ago.
Please explain it again.
You want to do it or me?
We could do
Why
it.
don't you do it together in
explain it
harmony?
and I'll do the breathing? No.
Okay, so what you do is you breathe in through your nose for 4 seconds. You hold your breath for 7 seconds, and then you let that air out for 8 seconds. And then you repeat the process. And I think I do it like 5 times.
Yeah, I do it like 4 or 5 times.
And you're usually good after that.
And it's not like it knocks you out immediately.
You MMR.
All right, thank you very much, Kath. Case, what did I throw away the information sheets for the
I have them over here.
Nonas?
Okay, thank you, because I was just looking for that as well. I was like, I could have sworn Marissa brought that in
Here you
earlier.
go, guys.
She did. Yeah, Steve's got it.
okay.
All right. So I just want to mention that we're going to be doing some giveaways in a little while, and we have 3 restaurants that are going to be here. We have La Nona's, Cafe Carmela's, and Ristorante Pesto, and this is all in conjunction with this new show on Netflix called Nona's. It'll be streaming this Friday. So we'll do. We have $100 gift cards. Today, so we'll do that in a little while. Just stay tuned for that. Steve, you wanted to mention something?
Yeah, it's part of the Delco Gives the thing that you talked about, Casey.
Yeah.
In fact, it is tonight, this evening. It is a movie screening of The Public with Emilio Estevez. It's at the Media Theater.
Oh, get out.
Yeah, and it's so the proceeds from that screening are going to go to Breaking Bread. It is the only pet-friendly shelter, I believe, in Delco, and it is a great place. The movie looks really cool. It is a new Emilio Estevez movie. It's about people who are homeless and end up being sheltered in a public library. That is this evening at 7 o'clock. You can do walk-up and purchase tickets, and again, it will benefit this wonderful shelter. Say if people are, you see them out on the street and they're homeless and they have a pet with them, and the last thing they want to do is part with the pet before they go in and get the help that they need. This shelter provides them refuge. So it is a wonderful thing, and all you have to do is go see a movie and be part of this great event tonight, Case.
Yeah, come and hang out with me first. I'll be at like the Plumstead, or not Plumstead, the Plum Mall area on State Street, starting at like 6. So come by, say hi to me, and then go to the movie at 7.
catch
That'd
a
be
movie.
great.
Yeah.
Nice. All right. Marissa has some breaking news.
Breaking news. Breaking news.
So we now go to our producer's desk, Marissa Magnotta, with this breaking news. Marissa, on to you now.
Live from Studio 4K, I wanted to share something a little happy, a little promising, just to lighten our day, just a tiny bit.
Okay.
And in fact, oh my God, even all the listeners and you guys right here can experience this with us. I would like everybody right now to go to the Preston and Steve Show Instagram page.
Okay.
Click on our stories.
Okay. We'll do this as we speak because I don't know what she's talking about
Because,
yet.
guys, we walked in and we have a sign of phones.
What?
Whoa. We've been slowly getting equipment and new pieces. Preston, I showed you our new phone screener program the other day.
Right.
And then we walked in and our phones are lit up and it looks like we're like soon days away
Marissa,
from actually having real phones.
I'm sorry, Marissa. Where was this photo taken?
Right next to me.
Oh, okay.
That's what my studio looks like.
Oh, it's the computer screen behind it. I thought it was at the wall. My apologies.
Yeah, I was talking to Kristen yesterday down at Ben FM, and she was able to use the phones. Yesterday, she was using them for contests and stuff like that.
Okay.
So they're saving us for the last. They want, in case all of these shows that are ahead of us have issues, they want to make sure it's perfect. So we should have the phones within the year?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why, Marissa, I appreciate it. It's no. When we have phones, that's the breaking news.
It looks cool.
If you, like, we were just so excited when it was lit up in here. It's,
I know.
As well you should
it's
be.
Promising. It's something.
I'm still impressed by the candlestick phone, Preston.
I am too.
Yeah.
I will always treasure my candlestick phone, my old school.
If you're on
my
YouTube.
old school Mayberry phone. When you would call Clara to connect you to Barney down at the jail. This is the phone that I have here. So, all right. Well, thank you, Maris. Thank you very much.
That is cool.
Someday soon.
Yeah.
Someday we will have those phones.
You'll be able to sing that song, Preston, 8675309.
That's right.
Yeah.
All right. You know what? We need to chat. We didn't get a chance to do this in a couple weeks, so I would like to dive into Survey Says. Where we grab some surveys. I get lists of surveys every single day.
And you know, much as The Connoisseur was a reviled segment by Chuck D'Amico and it became one of his favorites.
Yeah.
This started as a kind of a no man's land of the worst surveys that you could imagine. We were laughing at how bad they were. They got sent to us. And now I actually really look forward to some of the surveys.
You know what, though?
Some of them are decent. In fact, I have to now I have to find the really bad ones. I have to go looking for them. So.
Well, maybe they've upped their game. It's still fun.
I think we all like to, do our own surveys. I think surveys are a great conversation starter or rekindler. You know what I'm saying?
I'd like to do a survey of how many people like to do their own surveys.
Yeah.
So, meaning when you're with a group of people, you'd like to hear what everyone's opinion is on a certain topic and kind of do a quick, let's see, where the consensus lies.
One of the best bathroom books I ever had was a collection of pop culture surveys.
Okay.
Yeah.
When we were in Italy, we had a dinner with the parents and players. And that was essentially how we kept the conversation going at the table. Because we're just sitting there with I don't really know you all that well. Hey, what was your top 3 movies of all time? The stuff like that. Yeah.
All right. Well, See? All right. Here's the survey. And a survey of 35,781 U.S. adults. When a friend tells you a secret in confidence, how often do you share the secret with at least one person?
Well, I will have to say always, because the caveat is always, if you tell me, you have to understand Claire will know.
Oh, yeah. See, that's, I immediately go to Chuck D'Amico, our boss.
Yeah.
Because he'll be like, hey, you can't tell anybody. I go, wives too? You know what I mean? So I will clarify whether or not I'm allowed to share said information with my spouse. And if they say no, then
you demur from it.
I don't tell her.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Same policy.
I think if somebody tells any of us in this room or Marissa something, we have to qualify it also by saying, listen, you can't tell everybody else on the show yet. And usually it's yet. But for now, Casey, we really need to keep this between ourselves. And sometimes it's completely innocuous, like a cool guest we might have down the road, and we don't want to jinx it by, telling somebody else. But Casey, more often than not, there has to be at least one qualifier. Yep. Hey, I got a secret for you.
Yeah.
No, really, I have a secret for you and just you, and you can't share it with anybody else.
And then once the secret is out, and then I can reveal it to my wife, I have to apologize.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, I'm sorry, I didn't tell you, but I was sworn to secrecy.
Yeah.
I apologize.
Yeah. So yes, the choices are when how often do you share the secret with at least one person? Always, usually, sometimes, rarely. Never. And I would fall in the category of always, because I'm always going to tell Rochelle. And unless I will adhere to the edict of, hey, don't tell Rochelle. If this is important that she not know about this because it may hurt her feelings or whatever it may be, then that I get. But the standing rule is you tell me something in confidence, I'm going to share it with my wife. That's pretty much the way it is. But and Kathy, what about you and Dennis?
Ooh, so no, there's my best friend. There's things that other people don't care about, but that she doesn't want to get out. No, I'll keep it to myself.
Okay.
What is the I've kept secrets that people have asked me to keep secret for for years and years and years. Do you have similar, things that you've kept?
Probably. Nothing's coming to mind right now, but I would imagine, there's one or two.
The easiest secrets to keep are the ones where you just don't give a rat's ass.
Yes. If you don't care.
I'll sit on that.
Yeah. If you don't care, it's pretty easy.
Yeah. Mum's the word.
Yeah.
Steve, sometimes you forget, and then like years later, the person will come to you and be like, "Did you ever tell anybody?" And
No.
I got really no idea what you're talking about at this point.
And they tried to get it out of me.
So the results of the survey are actually, if someone admits that they always share with at least one person, that was the least amount, 5%. I was actually kind of surprised at this.
Yeah.
Usually 7%, sometimes 12%, rarely 29%, and the highest percentage is never at 43%. So
Wow. Well, that's...
people answering this survey, felt that yes, your secret is safe with me.
Have you ever said yes to keeping a secret where you knew you were going to betray that pretty quickly?
Yes, of course. I mean, like you, as it's leaving my mouth,
Right. You're on the phone.
Like, oh my God! Yeah.
Could you repeat that into my
wait to tell
into my phone?
Yeah.
Or when the secret is revealed to you, you're like, oh man, I have to tell somebody this.
Yeah.
I swore that I wouldn't.
It's too good sometimes. Yeah. All right. So interesting peek into secrets. Here's our next survey. We'll get something to eat on this one. These are preferences and passion that people have for pizza. A survey of 5,000 U.S. adults were asked a few questions. So the average here's some of the results. The average American eats 288 slices of pizza a year.
Wow.
Which
am I talking about? I am talking about the need to eat pizza.
Yeah. So you figure that's a good chunk of the year you're having a slice of pizza. At some
And
point.
usually, I mean, if you're having pizza, usually you're having at least 2 slices, right?
So,
I mean, if it's not a quick snack,
Yeah.
at least 2 pieces.
Yeah.
Three is like, I'm good.
We can share a pie. Yeah, because 3 is about it for me. It depends on where you're getting it from, too. They're depending on the size of the slice.
Dude, I swear to God, the Imperial Pizza in Sea Cane, 610-54. I'm sorry, KI39393. That's the phone number. I will eat half of that pizza on the way home from the pizza place, and then finish it when I get. And it's a regular size pie, but it's just.
Pizza I ever had. You brought it. You got it somewhere on the shore. Was that Summers Point?
Yeah. Well, no, actually. Oh God, I can't. Well, now it's in Ocean City. So pizzeria. It was Bakeria 1010.
Okay.
And that was in Linwood. Linwood, just outside of Summers Point.
Casey was so excited for me to try this style of pizza.
I can imagine, yeah.
And I totally get it.
Right.
It's heavenly.
You are a Detroit-style convert at this point.
Love it.
But can't eat more than one
No,
slice.
one slice.
That's I was.
It's
gonna say that.
massive.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just so
right.
dense.
There's a lot of dough to it.
Yeah.
Quick survey on this. Are you reviled by the bubbles, or do you run to them and embrace them, as do I?
I'll take them or leave them. I don't hate them.
Okay.
But I don't see a bubbly piece and go, yeah, give me that one.
Right.
But going back to the Detroit style pizza, Nick, and it's so crazy because I have always preferred, you guys know, I love St. Louis style pizza, which is thin. It's almost like flatbread.
Yeah.
And so I like that crunchy, thin thing. But there's something about that Detroit style pizza, the cheese. Yeah. Oh man. I'm actually gonna shoot right now just thinking about it. Oh
yeah, Goat's Beard and Daisy Tavern, same owners. Great Detroit style pizza.
Agreed. All right. So anyhow, about 95 billion slices of pizza are eaten by people across the country each year. 32% of those surveyed predicted that they'll eat even more pizza than they did last year.
I'll eat more.
In the questions they asked, do you dip your slices? 58%
Shut up, everybody.
do.
Shut up.
Okay, but Casey, ranch is the most popular sauce for dipping pizza. 38% said that they will, of those that are dippers, would dip in ranch.
Do you see that place that is Case and it is part of the deal? The way they have it set up, the entire slice is dipped completely in ranch dressing. And this is apparently the way that it is served. That, to me, seems a bit excessive.
Yeah. No, thank you.
Yeah.
You know what, though? I probably should try other dipping sauces.
Okay.
Other than ranch. I don't know.
You haven't?
No. I mean,
Okay.
you have there's like some garlic butter dipping
Yeah, so that's
stuff.
2.
Yeah.
Garlic sauce is number 2. I know that Papa John's, I think they may have started being the takeaway place that had the garlic sauce. We're looking at an entire slice being dipped into ranch. That's disgusting.
So what's your
gnarly? All right, so followed by garlic sauce marinara.
Yeah.
Then blue cheese dressing. Yum. And buffalo sauce.
So for me, it'd be buffalo sauce.
Okay.
Buffalo chicken pizza is something that I really dig. But it's funny because I adore pizza, but I know to stay away from it and space it out because I'll average 3, but if I happen to be a little bit hungry, I'm going to go 8S.
But it's not that. It's a slice of pizza is like 250 calories.
Yeah, what is half an entire pie driving home? How many calories is that?
So as for the debate on the best way to eat a slice of pizza, nearly half say the correct way is tip first, not folded.
Just the tip.
Yep. So I don't do the fold either, unless it's a real floppy piece of pizza.
So Dave Portnoy from Barstool, he does his pizza one bite. Everybody knows the rules, and the way he eats pizza, I can't. Sometimes I can't stand. Like I just can't stand it because he bites the tip first, and then he kind of turns it on the side, and eats the crust. It's just,
so he gets a taste of the.
I guess so. Yeah.
Of the crust and the.
By the way,
pizza.
I think especially with pizza, you cannot do a one bite determination of the validation.
I agree.
The validity of a pizza.
I totally agree.
I will go in on the narrow, pointy side first. I will fold if necessary. But I think you want everything in one bite, and that's the way it works. I do know people though who will eat it in the reverse from the crust.
One of the most insane things I've ever seen was Nick McElwain had 2 slices of pizza, and he just
stacked them
on top of each other.
That's happened.
That's basically made a
standard
pizza
way.
sandwich. Yeah.
Yeah. So
I was like, you could do that?
Wait, you flipped the upside to touch each other like a sandwich?
I think I took 2 slices, but I mean, in essence, in 2 slices, it can be 1 slice if you think about it.
Yeah, but I'm thinking about your delivery method. So you put the
It was cheese on cheese.
Cheese on cheese.
Yeah.
Okay.
I made a pizza sandwich essentially.
Yeah, I took the
Like
2
Doc.
slices. I took the one bottom of the one and made that the top of the singular slice.
Okay.
So
that's
the way
an interesting approach.
Tony Manero eats it at the beginning of Saturday Night Fever. He stacks the pies, crust on the pie, so they're all up the right way.
Upright, okay.
And then folds it and then eats this big glob of pizza.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So, according to this survey, eating pizza with a fork is a food crime.
See, I will disagree.
I disagree too.
Sometimes I'm going to give it a pass.
Yeah, it's okay. Friday is the most popular day to have pizza. 43% they have it on Friday, followed by Saturday at 23%, and then Wednesday at 11%.
It's a fun food. It's fun.
The thin crust is most popular, 29%, with stuffed crust coming in second at 24%, and then hand-tossed crust at 23%.
I dunna like the stuffed crust.
As for pizza styles, New York is the favorite of the survey, while 22%, that's 29%, 22% prefer Chicago deep dish, and 8% like Sicilian style, and 4% say the Detroit style is the best. I'd say a lot of people haven't had Detroit style yet, so
am I
there
the
need
only
to be
one
more people.
here who likes a deep dish?
Oh, I like deep dish.
Yeah.
I think it's okay. I you know what I don't like about it? I don't care for the crust. I think it's kind of like a cornmeal type of crust. So I'm not into that.
So
I don't hate it, but I don't prefer it.
What is the place? What is the chain that actually has kind of built the reputation? Uno's. That's it.
Yeah. Uno was a deep dish pizza place.
Right.
So anyhow, there's your look on pizza in the survey. Says here is a new one, and it finds that less than half of parents find it fun to read aloud to their children.
Oh, I like reading aloud to anybody.
You do?
I'll read aloud to my fraternity house. I read aloud to
That's
my
right.
wife.
In fact, we were going to have, it was going to be a contest where you could win, and Nick would come to your fraternity and read a bedtime story.
Yeah, my wife is a little dyslexic, and so she has trouble just reading straight from books, and so I like reading to her, which is a nice thing that we do at night. But so it's like I'm the audiobook for her.
Do you know what well, Preston, you and I are big proponents of the audiobooks.
Yeah.
Something that I was staunchly against for a long time. Now I love it. So I guess in essence, I do love being read to.
Okay.
So I could sit in the back of your car.
I would love it.
And read you guys stuff.
That's a service.
There it is.
Nick,
Where Nick rides to work
you
with
can
you.
begin. Call me Ishmael.
Yeah. So only 40% of parents with children aged 0 to 13 agree that reading books to my child is fun to me, according to a survey conducted by data company Nielsen and publisher HarperCollins. The survey shows a steep decline in the number of parents reading aloud to young children, with 41% of 0 to 4-year-olds now being read to frequently, down from 64% in 2012.
Wow.
Yeah.
Let me ask you, so with all of you having kids, I assume, as with a movie that they like, was there a book that you were requested to read over and over and over again?
Absolutely, yeah. The Little Train That Could, Goodnight Moon, especially when they're really little, Steve. Like, it's the same books over and over. And like during that time, you're like, all right, we're going to this book again. And now, of course, I would trade that moment for anything. I would love to be able to do that again.
Wouldn't you like to hear what happens to the Red October?
Yeah, I read to Jace every night, multiple books. It was really important. And actually, one of his favorite books was Ben's book that you guys gave me, and it was Bob the Builder. It was very, like 1-2 years old, and he could recite it by by the time we had read it,
That's
maybe
adorable.
100 times, and he loved it. And I think I might still have it, or Melissa might have it.
I would think that when you're young and you're in your formative stages, and it allows your mind. It's like, it's what radio does, or theater of the mind. It makes you more creative to hear a story and imagine it in your head.
It's one of my regrets as a parent that I didn't do it more with my kids. I did it, but I also didn't like doing it, which sucks. I wish I did.
Preston, just ruined my backseat.
I know, but and I would always pick something short to read.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's just I was bad in that regard. One of the ones I remember, I loved reading though, the Very Hungry Caterpillar. I thought that was a fun one. Another one we would read was it's like Brown Bear, what do you see?
Oh, yeah.
I see Pink Flamingo looking at me.
Yeah.
Pink Flamingo.
Yeah.
What do you see? Yeah, we had
Those
that
were
one.
cute because the kids would say it along with you.
Did you ever read Two Girls in a Cup?
I know.
My God.
That one, I also had that one in Spanish.
And then Four Little Monkeys Jumping on the Bed.
Oh, yeah, that one was good.
The
One fell off
and
bumped
cracked his head.
Wow.
Doctor and doctor said, no more monkeys jumping on the bed.
Yep.
Yeah, that one was fun.
So the kids would use that as a stalling tactic.
Give me a story?
They don't want to go.
Here,
They don't
this
wanna
one's
go
called
sleep.
The Stand.
The unabridged.
The unabridged
expanded
version of The
edition.
Stand.
So Gen Z parents are more likely than millennial or Gen X parents to say that children's reading is, quote, more a subject to learn than a fun thing to do. HarperCollins said that parents in this age group grew up with technology themselves, so may think fun comes more from digital entertainment than from books.
Do you remember that time where, because it always happens. I mean, even years ago, even in, the prehistoric years when I was being raised, the TV would serve sometimes, here, watch this.
Sure.
So I don't ever fault a parent for being, you have things going on and inundated, and it's an easy go-to, and then, but I mean, I guess you got to try to fight doing that all the time.
Yeah, but listen to me. It was a regret. I wish I would have done it more. But most Gen Z parents still overwhelmingly see children's reading as a fun activity, with 31% saying that reading is more a fun thing to do than a subject to learn.
Do you know what my mother used to do? And it was wonderful, and some of my favorite memories. I didn't have many years overall, considering my life right now, with my mom. But the TV would be off, and she would get a book, and it was kind of a fun thing, a joke thing. And we'd sit in front of the TV with it off, and she would read the book and act out the stuff into the reflection of the TV.
Aww.
And it was so cute. I remember it. I used to love that.
So read to your kids, gang. All right, next survey. This is according to a poll of 2,000 U.S. adults. Nearly a quarter, 22%, admit they don't call their mom enough.
Oh. I try to call my mom several times a week. I called her yesterday.
Okay.
I'm lucky to be able to do that. Stevie just talked about missing your mom, and I love my mom, and I love chatting with her as much as I can.
One time, there was a terrible storm, and the phone lines fell down on the cemetery. And then,
You got a message?
Are you still doing the TV thing?
The other thing about calling my mom is that that's one of her love languages. Like communication with her boys, like that means a lot to her. So because I know how much it means to her, that's why my brothers and I all try to check in with her as much as we can.
She doesn't call you 37 times a day?
No.
That's
you.
mean, yeah, and listen, if I don't hear from her, I also call her, but the majority of the time, I mean, it'll be a phone call, hang up, and then 5 minutes later, my phone rings. And it's her again.
And it's her again, yeah. Do you remember J.K. Simmons when he won an Oscar and he gave his acceptance speech, and the last thing he said was, call your parents.
Yeah.
I thought that was a nice little sentiment.
It does mean a lot.
On average, they talk to their mom once a week, and the majority of them, 78%, confess that they can't go more than a week without talking to her.
I think probably the purest thing is sometimes you get into the ritual of there's a set time I call. If something's on your mind or something fun has happened, just call out of the blue. You know, I mean I think that means more.
What bums me out as a parent is knowing that it's going to be more of a hassle for my kids to communicate with me as they get older.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Like
cats in the cradle, man.
We'll get together then.
Well, and it's like, the new job's a hassle and the kids have got the flu, but it's been nice talking to you, Dad, which is the line from that.
Yeah, we're picking out a home for you now, Dad.
Like it kind of bums me out to know that when my name pops up on their phone, that their first inclination is,
I don't
want to talk to Dad right now.
Right?
I know.
That'll change.
So Sunday's Mother's Day, and you'll be glad to know that we found a brunch location for my mom this weekend that is affordable, and we will all be going and not be leaving ahead of time. And so we
talked with my financial planners, and we can manage this. Just no bacon.
Steve, it was funny. I mean, like it was literally a conversation with me and my mom and my dad, and Ben's coming, and we're like, all right, so we're going to this place. And we're staying there this time, right? You know, and everybody like knows what the expectations are going in.
That's funny.
I have a friend who speaks to his mother the same time every single day. And he had something terrible happen to him, and he was not able to call his mom. And she knew immediately something was wrong because they talk every day. And so she was like, where is he? What's wrong? And was able to get some things in motion to figure out what was going on.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, the closeness that some have with their mother pays off because 2/3 claim that they know their mom better than anyone else in her life. People feel closest to their mom when making her laugh at 28% saying that.
That was one of my great joys. Making my dad and my mom laugh was one of the great joys.
Also, having heartfelt conversations at 25% or just relaxing with her at 11%. But 2/3 of all respondents say that their mom spends too much time worrying about everybody else.
Did you ever hit a point in life where you look back and you say you kind of understand a little with a sense of clarity as parents yourself what they were doing when they were doing things that you may not have agreed with or understood at the time?
Yeah.
It does happen, right?
It does happen, most definitely. 1/3 of those who are in contact with their mom worry that she doesn't spend enough time on herself, and 70% are afraid their mom has too much on her plate these days, so she neglects her self-care.
Mom, you don't always have to be on the center pole. The champagne room is relaxed.
All right, let's do one more survey before we got a break. Oh, actually, Casey, we're going on Fox Good Day. What? How are we doing on time?
Yeah, we probably should. Well, you get time for one more.
A
survey.
quickie?
Yeah.
All right. Let me find one. Hang on. I got a bunch of them. No, some of these dive into a bit much, and I don't want to.
This is a beautiful piece of music, by the way.
It is.
All right, so this is a survey out of the UK. A poll of 2,000 adults who enjoy a good barbecue has found 28% admit to loading up their dish with as much food as possible when attending the popular garden get-together. Fear of an empty buffet, not being bothered to get up again for seconds, and having eyes bigger than their bellies were cited as the top reasons for this.
Would you fall in this category, this realm of the plate piler?
Not anymore. But at one point, yeah, as much as I could get on there.
I do the other way. I kind of pick a couple things.
Okay.
See if that gets me where I need to go. And now I may go back 200 times, but I try to parse it out so I'm not. The one thing I hate is having a plate full of food that I throw out.
So here's a couple things they notice. Other classic barbecue archetypes include someone who will simply enjoy having food delivered to them so they never have to stand up. So they're sitting down and you go get a plate for them.
Mashed potatoes.
And bring back. And then they also indicate the food dropper was also highlighted. Someone who is notorious for ending up with more grub on the floor than on their plate.
On a side note, there's a commercial that is at a barbecue, and it is for paper plates. And they're showing how ineffective this one brand is, and this moron, the way it's done, he's putting 18 pounds of food, everything, beans and all this crap on the plate, and is stunned. And I know it's just a commercial, and I don't know why it lives in my head rent-free, but it just drives me crazy.
All right, and then part of this, and like I said, this is out of the UK, so the number one on here is a little bit interesting. Food's considered unlimited for guests at a barbecue.
Yeah.
Number one is sausages.
Where are the sausages?
Where are the sausages?
That's number one?
It's in the UK.
Oh,
Where are the sausages?
That's why
They have very
highlighted that.
brittle teeth.
I thought we'd go with in the USA, perhaps one of the course salads, like a potato or a macaroni.
I think that should be expected to be bottomless.
Yes.
So number 2 is burgers. Number 3 is salad. And then we fall into that realm, Nick. Number 4 is coleslaw.
Yeah.
And number 5 is potato salad.
On Thanksgiving, if the plate full of the carved turkey is being passed around, how many pieces will you take on the initial flyby?
Like 2.
2?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's enough. By the way, so my mom used to make this great potato salad, and I literally would just have a plate. I mean, a full dinner-sized plate. A potato salad.
Yeah.
Homemade? Do you have the recipe?
Yeah, homemade. Absolutely.
Macaroni
Yeah, I do.
salad for me.
Yeah?
Macaroni salad all day.
I like a good macaroni salad. Sometimes I'm picky about them too,
Yeah,
but when
yeah.
you get a good one, hold on for
Rub it on my face and call me a
dear
bitch.
life.
I should make my mom's spaghetti salad.
Ooh,
Yeah,
okay.
it's basically macaroni salad.
But with spaghetti instead of elbow macaroni?
Nick's mom's meatballs.
Yeah, those are good too. We had that conversation one time of, potato versus egg versus macaroni salad. And I think maybe we even did a survey. And I think in my own brain that I switch whatever my favorite one is from week to week. Like right now, it's probably potato salad.
Here's one off the beaten path. What about 3-bean salad? Do you guys ever give that one a go?
Big fan.
I
I
like
have
that.
not been on that street in a while.
Yeah.
I need to redabble.
Yeah, it's not like fall in love with it, rub it on your face, and call you bitch.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
It's a nice,
It's close.
It's a nice one.
It's where you from, slut?
Yeah. Right. Anyhow, now we need to wrap it up. After the slut comment. We'll wrap it up, survey says. All right, we're going to take a quick break because we're going to go live on Fox Good Day. Have no idea what those guys want to talk about. Maybe
Probably
we'll
3-bean salad.
Probably find out in a moment. Then we have a first shot at winning $1,000 this morning with 20 money. We'll be right back. Stay with us. Every time I'm like,
I'm not sleeping.
This is dumb. It didn't work. And then the next thing you know, you're waking
And then you wake up and you're like, oh my God, that thing worked.
It worked. It actually does work. So it slows your heart rate down and it helps you get into that
Kind of just
zone.
helps you relax.
Yep. And I would imagine it could.
Excuse me.
Why?
So, yes, you breathe in through your nose for 4 seconds, hold for 7.
Okay.
Breathe out through 8, and it works great, man.
It has a regulating effect, and you
Yeah.
think you're more inclined to fall asleep after that.
Now, it also says others may find that yoga may help.
Or cottage cheese.
Like getting up and doing yoga.
Oh,
right
at
then
3
and there.
a.m. Honey, what are you doing?
I'm doing sleeping dog.
Yoga.
Meditation or reading can help when you wake up before the alarm. But
I don't
no,
think any of that would help me.
really.
I would be exhausted.
I like the
You're supposed to be.
But so are they saying to stay awake?
No. I mean, well,
To
yeah,
do
get
this
up
to
and
fall
do
back to
this,
sleep.
and then you can go back to sleep easier.
Yeah, no.
So these are obviously hours, as you said earlier. These aren't just minutes. I can see where that. So for me, if it has happened, like that's why I've just come into work, Preston. On those certain times, I'll just get ready and
Yeah.
And
What
you
am I
have
doing?
as well. You did just recently.
Yep.
You
What
just
am I
come in.
doing? I may as well just go in, you know.
Next time, do yoga and try to go back to sleep.
Let me get some calls.
Go sleep driving.
I have a psychologist, Jenny, who's on the line. Hey, Jenny, good morning.
Good morning, guys.
Hey, what's up, Jenny?
I'm a psychologist, and I actually work in a primary care office, and so much of what I help people with is sleep challenges and anxiety stuff. So these things you guys are talking about are right on point. The 4-7-8 breathing for sure, and the idea of getting up out of bed, either when you can't fall asleep initially or if it is that middle of the night, like they said, we call it the 20-20 rule. So if you lay in bed for more than 20 minutes and you're still tossing and turning, your mind is still racing and you're awake, the best thing to do is get up and do something quiet and boring for another 20 or 30 minutes, and then try again.
So don't try to force it. So years and years ago, and I say it in the commercials because it's true with the sleep number, and everything. It's been much better. My sleep has been very consistent over the years. But the prior to that, occasionally I'd be like Nick. I have difficulty getting to sleep, and so the notion of trying to force sleep while you're in bed is a losing proposition. Correct?
Exactly, right. It just gets yourself more worked up, and then you start to associate your bed with this is where I lay down and I'm stressed, rather than this is where I lay down and I sleep.
All right,
so,
I have a question for that. For that, if you get up for you're laying in bed 20 minutes, you toss and turn and get back to sleep. You need to get up for 20 minutes. I would assume you don't want to get on a screen, your phone or your laptop.
Exactly, exactly, right. We say no screens, don't scroll your phone, don't turn on the TV. My go-to is like just do something lame, like read the refrigerator manual, like something just totally, non-stimulating, and like they said, keeping it dark and quiet. So
nothing that actually engages you.
Right, because you don't want your brain to wake up more.
Okay.
So you could read a book, that you're not too, if you're not the kind of person that'll get sucked in and have to finish the whole thing.
The Kathy Romano story.
So then, Jenny, and this is a legitimate question. I assume then that like pleasuring yourself maybe not a good idea?
Well, for some people, it does. It gives you that relief, and you get exhausted, and you can fall asleep afterwards.
Okay, so it's not off the table, right?
Right.
Okay,
right.
thank God. No. So I to me, I guess the presumption that you're doing something that would bore you, or at least
right.
Could you? So anything with a screen though is going to be like if you were to put on a documentary on drywall and watch that.
I mean, maybe, but we always talk about the blue light. Telling your brain it's time to wake up, like any light. So that's why you do want to keep the lights dim and everything like that.
What about this? And I thought this article would touch on this, but it really didn't. But what about you wake up like 15 minutes before your alarm goes off?
Yeah, that's a tough one. Normally, I would say just get up because it's better to go with your body's natural cycle rather than start falling back asleep for another 10 minutes and then you're more groggy, kind of those 15 minutes later.
So, Jenny, my internal clock wakes me up just about a minute, 2 minutes ahead of my actual alarm, which is actually a nice thing. I can shut it off before it startles me, and that's good.
Yeah, that's great.
So, okay, so that's a desirable thing.
You've trained your body when to get up.
All right, excellent. All right, cool.
All right. Excellent. Well, thank you, Jenny.
Thank you guys for sharing these good tips.
Bye-bye,
Jenny.
Bye-bye, Jenny. Hang on. Let me go to Patrick. Hi, Patrick. Good morning.
Hi, Gadzooks.
Gadzooks. What's up, buddy?
Hey, so I actually have this condition called sleep paralysis.
Okay.
And it's basically when your brain is awake, but your body is still in that REM sleep cycle. So your body's pretty much locked up.
Okay.
And sometimes I will actually... I'll wake up in sleep paralysis when my alarm's going off, and I can't turn it off at all.
Wow. You're actually sort of paralyzed?
Yeah, I can't move at all. I can move my eyes around and everything else, but I just can't move my body.
That's got to be terrifying.
Do you know what's happening?
Yeah. I know exactly when it's happening.
Oh, he fell asleep.
Oh,
Jesus.
Hey, Patrick, have you ever had someone speaking to you, and then later on you can tell them what they were saying?
Yeah, my girlfriend actually. Sometimes she talks in her sleep, and I can hear every word, and I just can't move my body.
Wow,
yeah, Patrick, it has to be kind of a wild picture to see you there locked up with your eyes open, her asleep, talking away. It's got to be a weird dynamic. Yeah.
All right. So, what are the dangers that come with sleep paralysis?
I don't think there's really any dangers.
Okay.
Since your body is still in the REM sleep cycle, you can have hallucinations. I've seen a few, like, shadows on the wall or whatever, but it doesn't really bother me that much. I'm kind of used to it now.
Wow. Okay. Interesting. And how long have you been suffering from this?
Since I was a kid.
No kidding.
It's interesting. You wonder with things like this when people talk about seeing, like,
thanks, Patrick.
With apparitions or whatever. I wonder, how much of that is born of conditions like this?
Yeah, good question. I'm going to go to Gene, who has insomnia. Hey, Gene, good morning.
You're a crumb creep.
You're a
lush.
Yeah.
I'll take you out back and make you go to sleep.
What's happening, Gene?
You're a creep.
Preston, every night I wake up sometime between 2 and 4. I don't have to get out of bed until 5:30.
Oh.
So do you go back to sleep, Gene, or are you able to?
Generally not.
Okay.
Sometimes I'll just lay there. I never got out of bed and did anything like the psychologist
Try that.
suggested.
Are you willing to?
I will.
Yeah. See, I mean, I'd never crossed my mind. I always thought that the idea was to stay where you are and just try to settle back in.
Work through it.
Yeah.
The worst thing I did, the doctor prescribed me something called Ambien.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, that is a nasty, nasty pill.
Maybe you could try counting sheep.
1, 2, 3.
There it is.
There you go.
It didn't work, Steve.
That was
No, but give this thing a shot. But Ambien was that was nasty for you.
Every day after, I would rather not sleep than have a day after taking one of those. It's like you have a really bad hangover the entire day.
People
That's just the side effects really outweighed the benefit.
Yeah, people with chronic insomnia who have to deal with that issue. To me, to know usually the joy of being able to go up and get into bed and you're going to relax down and rest. That's the absolute opposite for someone who has insomnia.
Yep. All right. Thanks, Gene. We appreciate the call.
You're
Good luck with everything.
creep, lush coward.
That's your sleep therapist.
Yeah. So anyhow, obviously there's some things you can do, but getting up and moving around is one that you wouldn't consider.
Right.
Being the right thing to do. The breathing technique as
Square
well
dancing.
as a good one as well. Maybe a quick square dance. A little Alaman left, maybe. So anyhow, take those for what you will if you've been having problems. We do need to take a break and come back in a second because we have a guest. We're going to meet the new head coach of the Flyers.
Yeah.
And we had an interesting conversation with Bill Clement about him last week. So we'll see if he lives up to that reputation. John Tortorella will be with us when we get back. Stay with us.
Preston and Steve. 93.3 WMMR. Ever wondered where to get the latest MMR gear?
There wasn't any toilet paper.
You need to understand.
And
don't tell anyone.
Dude, you laughed so hard. You were just
You're so vulnerable.
I was at my most vulnerable ever.
Give me a hug.
Come here, buddy. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. Come here.
All right. So anyhow, so you've had this happen, and I saw this article with some pretty interesting tips. It says instead of descending into self-loathing, have an action plan. Here's what to do when there's no toilet paper in your bathroom stall. So
Well,
they
this
have
can
some
be very
suggestions.
helpful. Good.
Yes.
I think everyone can use this at some point in time.
So I'm going to read from this article verbatim because there are some good tips here. And feel free to share your own stories if you like. 215-263-WMMR. So it says in this article, number one, first thing is ask for help. It says if you're alone in the restroom, the obvious first step is to check other stalls for supplies. If you're not alone, just call on the love of your fellow humans. If there's someone else in the restroom, swallow your pride, make a polite request for assistance. It says you may you may feel embarrassed,
right?
But we all have to move our bowels.
When you realize they're about to show up at your house, is it like, oh my God, we better clean the house? Preston, Steve, what do you think, Preston?
Yeah, usually clean the house. And the inappropriate things that might be lying about the house.
The sex aids.
Yeah, all that. You know how it is, Steve. I'm not good with last minute. I like to be prepared if people are going to be coming over because you want to make them feel welcome and comfy. And
yeah, I mean,
all
you
that.
set the whole thing up. They're coming. You know you're going to poison one of them who betrayed you. And so you got to set. No, I think the thing, I used to freak out having parties at home or having gatherings at home because, the thing you learn eventually is if you provide food and booze, it doesn't matter. So then they'll have a good time. So but I used to panic.
I agree.
Yeah.
Do you know what mine
I
mine is? I stress about people messing my house up.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yes.
She does. But I can get that because when people show up at my house, I hide all. I'm a big electronics guy. I hide all the remotes. I hide everything that can be effed with.
Really?
Absolutely, because it drives me crazy. But I understand there's going to be some spillage, but I'm like the Great Gatsby wandering around with a garbage bag and, just I don't really enjoy the party. I clean up. It's a little crazy.
This is another thing I believe. When you have people in from out of town, family or otherwise, you shouldn't stay more than 2 nights. That's it.
I
2 nights I can take.
No.
Yeah.
After that, then it starts getting weird.
Beyond 2 nights, that's hotel time. If you're going to be at somebody's house for more than 2 nights, don't be at that person's house for more than 2 nights. Stay at a hotel.
I always put people up in hotels when they come to visit, unless there's like one person, maybe. But I always offer to put them up at a hotel because I know that when I go to someone's house, I feel awkward.
Yeah, that's Steve's subtle message
Yeah.
to, hey, I'll put you up somewhere if you want. You know,
because I would hate being at your house.
Yes.
And I assume you hate being at mine.
Well, I have struggled with that over the years, suggesting that they stay in a hotel. I just think you're going to be more comfortable.
Yeah.
But it's only because I'm not prepared to have people over.
And you don't have anything in your fridge, so what are they going to eat?
No, just stay in the hotel. I'll come see you.
That makes sense.
Is that rude?
No. You stay, if you state your case up front, then you're absolved of any issues.
Yeah.
And if you pay for it.
And if you pay
Right?
for it. Exactly, Alex. If you pay for it. That's what I do, too.
I have lied to my children.
Which time?
When they say, "Oh, Dad, don't worry about getting us a hotel," I'll say, "No, it's, I got a huge discount," or I say that it's free.
So they don't feel bad.
Listen, if you can't lie to your children, then
don't
what does
wanna
this
live in
world
that
come
world.
Who can you lie to? Yeah. I lied about being their dad. So
There you go. Full circle, Simba.
yeah. In reality, I have no children.
Yeah.
Thank you. See you next week. It's
Thank
8
you.
o'clock.
Bye-bye,
Straight Out
guys.
this Wednesday.
Take care of yourselves. Oh, my goodness. I couldn't see Mike being the host. I couldn't see him rolling out the red carpet.
He's a good, I think,
a great guy.
one-on-one hang or taking in the town. But I don't think you're going to sit there and watch fishing shows.
Exactly.
Not Mike.
Exactly. But it's funny, he would lie to people and say, oh, yeah, I got this great deal. No
Great
problem.
deal, yeah. All you have to do is pay them for your rooms.
Yep. All right. I am glancing at the clock, and it is 8 a.m.
93.3 WMMR Philadelphia. It's time for a Preston and Steve 20 Money Keyword.
All right. The word is gains, Gains, gains. And you have until 25 minutes after the hour to enter that. You can do it through the MMR app or WMMR.com, or you can text it at the special contest short code number, which is 45911. And one random entry wins $1,000 in the company-wide contest. Each MMR winner gets a pair of MMRBQ tickets as well, and winners will get a call from Beasley, so make sure that you answer your phone. Contest rules available at WMMR.com, and Preston and Steve's 20 Money is sponsored by by United Tire and Service. So again, the word you need is gains. So enter that, Gains. Let's take a look at traffic. See what we're doing this morning, Kathy. What you got?
It's not looking too bad this morning, much better than yesterday morning, but we are jammed 95 southbound from Cutman through to the Betsy Ross Bridge, the Vine, westbound, going 8th to the Schuylkill. Schuylkill delays eastbound, the Boulevard into the Vine, westbound Passyunk to the Vine, the Boulevard to Gladwin, Blue Route northbound, heavy 95 to the Media Bypass, Northeast Extension northbound, the off-ramp to get onto the Turnpike, the Pennsylvania Turnpike. There is a crash there to watch out for. Ridge Pike in Plymouth Township at North Lane, an accident. Route 1 out in Bucks County in Neshaminy, southbound on Route 1 at Rock Hill Drive, an accident blocking the right lane. 295 southbound slowing from 561 to the 42 freeway, 42 north backing up Blackwood Clementon Road to 295. This traffic report brought to you by the 2025 FIFA Club World Cup. It's coming to Philadelphia. Get ready for a global soccer showdown at Lincoln Financial Field. Don't just watch history, be there. Get tickets at FIFA.com/tickets. And that's your traffic on 93.3 WMMR.
WMMR presents Preston and Steve's Bizarre File.
Bizarre File this morning brought to you by Liberty Safes of New Jersey. They want you to shop smarter for a safe. So shop one of their showrooms on Horizon Drive in Hamilton or Route 73 in Mount Laurel, or you can go to libertysafesnj.com. The National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases, the NIH, put the brakes on research at its high contaminant lab, known as the Integrated Research Facility at Fort Detrick, Maryland, for a safety stand down. Now, what they handle are things like Ebola and SARS, like the big biggies.
The big mothers.
In a report, Bradley Moss, communications director, noted, this decision follows identification and documentation of personnel issues involving contract staff that compromise the facility's safety culture. The director, Dr. Connie Schmalajan, an experienced scientist and expert on hantaviruses, was also placed on an administrative leave. No further information on the cause of the safety stand down has been reported by the NIH. However, an anonymous source stated the cause was a lover's spat between facility researchers where, listen to this, I can't believe this.
Oh, I'm sure I'm going to believe it.
Where one individual poked holes in another's protective equipment.
What? So, yeah. I mean, that's a lover's spat. That's why, honestly, a lot of times businesses like that or pilots are discouraged from fraternizing or having relationships with coworkers.
So this is according to an inside source. That individual has since been fired, the official indicated. So high consequence pathogens are serious and deadly agents that pose a substantial threat to domestic and global security. Many are difficult to treat and frequently do not have preventative vaccines.
You know, my mind's racing to the opening scene in The Stand, Preston.
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
Consequently, they required specialized containment facilities to study them safely because they are known to infect laboratorians. Some additional examples include Marburg and Lassa viruses and anthrax bacteria. These are some of the deadliest infectious pathogens on the planet, with death rates that can range from approximately 25 to 90%. So that is just insane.
So if you're having a lover's quarrel, maybe just take their food out of the fridge
before you puncture.
Yeah.
All right. This is a much better story to share with you.
It was scary.
A Kentucky woman was in a mess when she found stacks of boxes containing lollipops on her front doorstep. The surprise delivery was ordered by her young son while he played on her phone. Now, wait till you hear the numbers. Holly Lavers says that she tried stopping 8-year-old Liam's Amazon order for about 70,000 Dum-Dum suckers.
Oh, my God.
Before the treats arrived, but it was too late.
We're looking at a picture of them stacked up, Preston, on the screen here.
Amazon
That's insane.
had already delivered 22 cases to her home. She said he told me that he wanted to have a carnival, and he was ordering the Dum-Dums as prizes for his carnival. Again, he was being friendly. He was being kind to his friends. The surprise
crackers and a box of candy bars.
So the surprise got worse after a quick check of her bank account. She owed about $4,000 for the order.
Jeez.
She said, when I saw that number, I about fainted. And then she found out there were 8 more cases from the order that were unaccounted for. And after a trip to the post office, those cases were returned to sender.
Preston, there was an AFV video of a kid who ordered, those large, like they're fake Broncos, but that you can drive them, and they have like batteries in them, and I mean, they're huge. He ordered 4 of them.
Oh, my God.
And, they're sitting on the front step.
So her efforts to get a refund took a bit more time, but she got her money back. She said, after a long day of working with the bank and talking to a few news stations, Amazon called and they're refunding my money. LaFavor said that she was changing some settings on her phone to make sure that there's never another surprise delivery at home. By the way, I love Dum-Dums. They're great.
They're great.
Yeah, but 70,000 of them.
It's a long weekend.
Authorities were searching Monday for a black bear that killed a man and a dog in South Florida. The attack occurred in a rural area east of Naples. Wildlife officers warned that the animal could still be in the area, and they advised the public to be vigilant and avoid the area. Local law enforcement and wildlife officers are searching for the bear.
My mind still reels at the notion of bears and
Florida?
Yeah, and in residential areas.
Yeah, authorities didn't say when they think the attack occurred or release the name of the man who was killed. Florida's black bears, which were once threatened, have increasingly wandered into neighborhoods and private property in recent years, especially in more rural areas of North and Central Florida.
Chubby bear with a furry little tail. You and your dog.
All right, Kathy stepped out. I had a story I wanted her to hear, but I'll hold on to that for a little bit later. A security camera on a street in India captured the moment a wandering bull took a parked scooter for a spin. The video shows the stray bull investigating the white scooter before putting its front legs onto the seat.
Wow.
The bull rolled the scooter out into the road while passers dashed by out of its path. The attempted joyride comes to an abrupt end when the bull crashed the scooter into a nearby gate, causing the vehicle to fall onto its side. The animal, which did not appear injured, casually walks away from the scene.
Thank God it wasn't a cow, Preston, because, you would have had an utter catastrophe.
All right. And then this story, begun. The robot wars have. In a Chinese factory, a humanoid robot went wild and attacked workers as seen in creepy video footage.
Did you guys see this footage?
No.
Okay, get ready for this.
The robot held by a small crane suddenly starts swinging its arms fast and hard like it was angry. 2 workers nearby ducked and backed away, and it knocked over a computer monitor and other stuff on a desk. And at one
it's bad.
And at one point, the robot even tried to walk forward as if it was breaking free. One worker pulled the crane to stop the chaos, and the incident blamed on a coding error. Happened on May 1st. People online called it dystopian, with some joking about a robot revolution. This comes after other robot incidents, like the one leading a showroom rebellion, and it raises big safety worries about robots working near humans, especially in those that have seen science fiction movies.
So, looking at the appendages on this robot, which is meant to look like a humanoid, they look pretty heavy, those arms. You get slapped with one of those, it would hurt.
Oh, yeah. I would think you'd get hurt really bad, but it's wild. The thing is just flailing around.
Jitterbug.
Yep. All right, and that is what I have in the bizarre file for you right now. We're going to take a quick break. We got a lot of people joining us on the show this morning. And don't forget, we have Preston and Steve's 20 Money. The word you need to enter now is gains. And you have until 25 minutes after the hour to do that. GAINS. So we wish you good luck.
Preston and Steve.
And it's significantly better than the next few options that are going to be explored in this article.
I think all things being equal, I think you would attempt to help out someone were you outside the stall and someone called for help from you. It's just the kind of thing that we could all commiserate on.
Agreed.
Right?
So swallow your pride, swallow your embarrassment,
swallow your fist,
and just ask for some help and see if some stranger in there has some toilet paper. Now, if there's no one in there,
right,
and you can't leave the stall for whatever reason, then your next step to contemplate is non-standard paper products,
which is the thing that rifles through everyone's mind. What can you possibly use
to wipe my ass?
Right.
Well, sometimes you have the ass gasket. It's just sitting there, right?
Have you ever used an ass gasket?
Let me go through these.
Yeah.
Number 1, toilet seat covers.
Yeah.
Okay.
The ass
so we
gasket.
have them.
And these are in order, by the way, of which ones you should use. Okay. Given your druthers,
right,
that's the first one you should go for. And they give reasons why.
Okay, please.
These are your best option if available. They are sanitary and flushable.
Are they?
So they're really just oddly shaped toilet paper anyway.
All right, hold for one.
They're probably the smoothest option as far as comfort level goes.
All right. So this actually adds something that makes me angry now. Because I will go in, and many is the time I'll go in and see the ass gasket still on the toilet.
Still there.
Now knowing that it's flushable makes it even more.
And even if it wasn't, just go throw it.
Get rid of it.
Some people's public bathroom habits, specifically
here
in buildings where they are regular tenants.
Yes.
They're here working every day. And I see the regular stuff happening all the time. And I'm like, honestly, really? Seriously? Seriously?
Filthy animal.
It's basic.
Yeah.
It's seriously basic to flush the toilet. That's what that handle is there for. Or take away. It's like going out in the woods. Leave no trace.
Leave no trace.
Right. It's a pretty easy concept.
And usually it's
keep it clean.
When you walk in, it's very anonymous. You have no idea who left the mess or
unless
whatever.
you sign the wall.
But I was washing my hands one time, and somebody came in, used the stall to go number 1. And left the toilet seat up, and then left. And I'm like, ugh, just put the toilet seat down.
That's not as bad as
I agree.
Still,
yeah.
I know, but you're making somebody else touch that toilet seat.
Well, you're going to be communing with it in some form or another. Your body will be. So I got it. I understand. Technically, yes, you're right.
It's not the worst.
But that doesn't set me off.
That one's nominal.
Yeah.
I think. All right. So then you have your second option outside of the toilet seat cover, paper towels. obviously.
Okay, what you're saying. This list says is more corrosive or more irritating than the ass gasket.
Yeah, if you grab some paper towels, it says from the sink area, you have a scratchy but effective substitute.
Would you moisten said paper towels?
You can minimize the roughness by getting them a little damp before using.
And that's what I would do.
Which is what I was attempting to do when Casey came into the bathroom and saw my full frontal moment.
I had a similar moment to that where the person was getting paper towels, not for the reason that you were getting them, a different female reason. And she looked at me and she went, "I'm so sorry. Do not talk about this on the air." And I was like, got it. Check.
All right, now here may be one that you did not consider. All right, and this is what actually made me go, okay, this might be worth mentioning on the air, this whole conversation. The cardboard roll. Now, this is when you're getting down to, I have no options here. So the bare cardboard toilet paper roll might be mocking you from the dispenser, but you can use it for an extremely unpleasant wiping experience.
How would you extricate it? Like we have our
depends on what you have. Ours is industrial size.
You can't get in there.
I don't think you'd be able to do that. It's the type of thing that if you have yoga classes that it's like you can roll your back on, like it's that, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. So unless you have an extraordinarily large ass, is that going to help?
But it says, like paper towels, you can make it marginally more comfortable with some strategic dampening. But if you have to, you can use, and I think that's more like the standard home version of toilet paper, that cardboard roll.
Right.
You can kind of tear it apart.
And it's different sheets. I mean, and that's, you're really slumming it at that point, but when you have no options, you have no options.
All right. Then moves on to another level.
Oh, can I guess?
Yes.
The floor tiles.
No. It says, let's say you've wandered into some sort of Mad Max restroom where there are no paper products at all, not even the cardboard roll, and you've started your business and you haven't noticed it and it's too late. It says, a wasteland of bacteria and shame.
Oh, boy.
It's time then to search for a hidden reservoir of paper on your person. Check your pockets and your wallet for anything that could be used.
That dump just cost me $150.
Well, it goes through some.
Really?
Options here. So,
all right.
Starts with tissues. Says this one's pretty obvious. Of course, if you have a pack of tissues in your coat pocket, your toilet experience won't be so traumatic.
Do you have tissues with you? Do you have a handkerchief with you?
I don't.
I have tissues in my bag.
Ladies usually do in their bag.
So walk over to the ladies' room with your pants around your ankles.
You could do that if you're desperate. All right, how about this? And I never would have thought of this. Receipts. If you went to CVS right before you hit the loo,
you're good to go.
You're in luck. You can wipe for days.
You can wipe other people's butts.
It says paper receipts aren't ideal.
No.
But they can get the job done. It says, sure, you might not be able to return those ill-advised impulse purchases, but you will have defeated entropy for one more day, and that's not nothing. So if you have that, you're available. Now, how about this? Wrappers.
I don't see. Okay, I hear this. I never have any of this.
Similarly, yeah, but you may, at that moment, you may have just stuck something into your pocket. You may have just picked something up, and you might have it in your pocket. It's worth looking for it.
All right.
Similarly, candy wrappers or other packaging that you've got in a bag or in your pocket may also provide a bit of emergency relief here. And then, Steve, the one that you mentioned at the top, cash. Says, yes, that makes this the most expensive public restroom you've ever used, but wasting a few $1 bills might be worth it in this instance. If you don't have any singles, you're going to have to engage in a very serious conversation with yourself regarding the price of your dignity.
Man, would it be better to keep a couple of blank checks in your wallet?
Oh, man. I don't know. Maybe. I'm going to go to some calls and I'll come back to a couple of other ideas. Well, actually, let me get to these ideas because some of them have to do with people, what people are saying and when they call in. So another one says you can do make a do-it-yourself bidet.
So this was something I was wondering about because listen, you've now become subhuman, but you've got to do everything you can to clean yourself properly and leave there with some peace of mind.
Mm-hmm.
So do you have to think, okay, the water in the toilet.
Right.
All right.
So
is that where we're going?
No, not at first. It says if you happen to have a bottle of water on you,
all right,
consider using it to clean up without paper. Water is pretty effective at this. which is why billions of people around the world use it instead of or in combination with toilet paper.
So
it
this
could be a
is-
choice.
For me, I always go to the bathroom and I bring a pressure washer with me.
Oh, good call.
So I would use that
Listen,
first.
if you had to, I think you can flush the toilet.
Yes, exactly.
And then you have a fresh bowl of water.
Yes,
You're
exactly.
going to have to use your hand.
Yes, but you could wash your hands once you
can
got out.
wash your hands as soon as you get out.
In fact, you dive over to that sink.
So you that is a one of the last ditch.
I mean, listen,
desperation moves.
Can I say I think we're saving lives
We
here
are,
today?
we are.
I think
I
so.
think we're
These are
saving
good-
lives because these are legitimate. When you encounter it, you're going to say, "Oh, this is frivolous talk," until you find yourself, perhaps, and God, I hope it doesn't happen later on today, having to manually bidet your ass with toilet water.
Well, that's how some
You're gonna
cultures
thank us.
will do it.
Absolutely.
I mean, my friend was she spent a long time in India. And I think that's maybe why they don't ever shake hands with their left hand, because that is your ass wiping hand.
There are some cultures, yes, that they use their hand for quote unquote grooming.
Your AWH.
And that is, what is that?
Your ass wiping hand.
Your AWH.
But they'll have
Is that your AWH?
It's your
I'm
aw.
sorry.
Your aw for short.
I don't want to shake people's hands anyway. Now I really don't want to with AWH. Now that I know about that.
Well, it's just the left hand. The right hand is usually okay.
No,
But
that's
they'll take
completely
water,
fine.
That has
No.
COVID on it.
Splash it up.
Yeah.
That's your BTH, your ball tickling hand.
Yeah, Kathy.
All right, and then your BTH. And then finally, and this is the one a lot of people are calling and texting about, sacrifice your wardrobe.
Yeah.
Oh, get the hell out of here.
No.
What?
No.
This is the dumbest story ever. This is not happening.
Did you not just hear
Kathy,
saved lives.
people
honestly,
agreeing that we're saving
Honestly,
lives?
what?
what would you do?
This isn't going to happen.
She would wait.
I'm not gonna
She
go-
would stay.
Such a denier.
She would
Oh my
stay in the
God.
stall until the building was demolished.
Let's say you had an emergency, I got to get to the toilet right now.
I
I
would
have
go
no choice.
home.
And you,
Yeah, I would.
You're going to crap your pants, is what I'm saying.
I'm not going to crap. I don't have situations where I'm going to crap my pants. That doesn't happen.
She's not realistic.
No,
Listen,
I am realistic. I don't have
She
situations
can will it
where
to
I'm gonna
happen.
crap my
She will
pants.
make it go back up.
There are times,
But I will
you
tell
might
you
get
because
sick.
the
What if you're sick?
well, hold on. All the time. If I go into a public restroom, I check first if there's toilet paper, because not for what you guys are talking about, just going to the bathroom, urinating. If I have
sage advice.
If I don't have toilet paper and I have wet underwear, it ruins my day. It's so uncomfortable.
Okay.
So I check every time I go in here. If I'm at Target, wherever I am, a concert, whatever it is, I will check when I go in the stall if there's toilet paper there.
So she's saying something that really is the first step.
Well, yeah.
That you and while you may not think about it, make sure you check. Now, this is obviously we've gotten past that, and you didn't. But you can head all this off of the past if you make sure that you have. And if it's not in your stall or whatever, go to the stall that has it, or work out your things ahead of time. But Kathy, you're in a situation, as where Preston said. Let's say you have you just got food poisoning. It came on you like a bolt of lightning, and would you?
Apparently that has never happened to her in her 30
No, and
years.
to
How
to
would
go
you
in-
do? How
no,
would you
it-
extricate yourself from the scenario?
But that would be a pretty unfortunate string of events that you all of a sudden have food poisoning and no toilet paper and you're out of your house.
Yes.
Like I just don't see
And you're
it
in a
happening.
foreign country.
And listen, I understand it might happen to some people.
You're
but
in India.
Hopefully that never happens to me.
And you've sprained your AWH.
So anyhow, if it did happen to you, Kathy, you might consider this, okay?
All right, yes. Always wear something you don't like.
Using your socks. And this goes in kind of like an order of what you might want to go to.
Let me ask you, have you ever, under the stall, pulled the sock off someone in the stall next to you?
I need this.
Yes,
I've not.
I need this badly.
I'm going to be taking this.
I mean, this has happened to me in my home. It's not even a private, restroom or I'm
You
sorry,
really have no
a public
excuse
restroom.
to wipe your clothing in your own home.
But I have gone into the bathroom, sat down, started my business. Oh my God, there's no toilet paper.
Right.
Because apparently I'm the only one in the entire household who replaces any toilet paper.
So clothing, let's go the hierarchy, Preston.
Socks.
Socks.
Start with that.
Number one.
Says your best choice once you've hit this bottom because they come in pairs. And once you're done cleaning up, you can carefully insert the dirty sock inside its mate, making it easy and relatively sanitary for the garbage. So you could take your other sock, you put the dirty sock in the clean sock, throw it in the garbage can,
and you're done.
And then you're good to go. And listen, you were going to lose the other sock anyway because
you look very sort of stylish in a Bruno Maglia, right? Maglia, what do they call it? Hey, so
would you use the inside of the sock or the outside of the sock?
I would
inside, softer,
so you can still wear them.
I think the inside is a little softer. Than
a sock wouldn't be my first choice. I think I would use
suit jacket.
A suit jacket first, because I hate suit jackets.
All right. Next would be underwear.
Yeah, I would probably go underwear first.
Reasoning that your underwear, your underpants are going to be ruined anyway if you do nothing. Maybe make their sacrifice really count. But Casey, dude, I wear Tommy John underwear. I like good underwear.
I hear you.
So sue me because I spend a lot of money on my. All right, thank you very much, Kathy. So we got a few restaurants that have dropped off food this morning. I'm going to do some giveaways in just a moment. I'll tell you how to win in a second. And it's in conjunction with a show on Netflix. I'm not going to say the name of that show.
Okay.
Because I have somebody here who is going to say it correctly, and she is from Ristorante Pesto. We have Gianna Verano.
Hi, everybody.
Hi, Gianna. How you doing?
Nice to see you.
Nice to see you. Thanks for coming by. We're going to talk about your food in a minute.
Sounds good. Thank you so much.
So, and she brought by this huge spread. I went in there and I said, okay, so this, this is with no, you were telling me about one of the recipes and you said it was from who?
My nonna.
Nonna. So I had originally said, announced this the first time we saw the show was coming up. I said nonnas.
Yeah.
Okay, so a little off, nonnas. But then I was told, no, I got ripped apart. No, it's nonnas.
Nonnas.
Nonnas. Like the word no. And I'm like, it just doesn't sound right to me. And I would say that this is a valuable source right here.
Yes.
Gianna
Wait,
telling us.
so what you don't think she's saying nonna?
I think she's saying it correctly. She's saying nonna.
So I went up to him. I said, no, it's not nonna.
Okay.
It's nonna.
Nonna.
With that little accent in the back of your throat. Nonna.
Not nona.
Yeah, nonna is very American, we would say.
American.
Nonna's the American version.
Yes,
of it.
yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
And we're talking about grandmothers. Yeah?
Yes.
Yeah, and so that's what this show is all about. It's about a restaurant that's started by nonnas.
Right.
And Vince Vaughn's in it, and it's on Netflix. And so we have these restaurants that are coming in and dropping off food today, and we have a $100 gift card from Ristorante Pesto. And here's what you need to do. You text Netflix to 610-660-9333, and you could possibly win a $100 gift card from Ristorante Pesto and a 1-month subscription to Netflix. So how about that? And then you get to watch Nonnas when it is out. So what did you bring in for us to eat today?
Okay, so for starters, we brought in our carrots. They are given complimentary to all our customers as soon as we walk in. It's like an ode to my nonna, which was my dad's mom, Nonna Fletta. They grew up really poor. My dad had 20 siblings.
Wow.
Well, he was one of 20. 13 survived to adulthood. And because she was so poor, they could steal and take the carrots from where she worked and stuff. So she would jar them in that sauce for months and months, and it would feed them throughout the years.
Isn't it? It's an amazing. I mean, you're talking about a culture, and I love the story because these nonnas,
yes,
are brought in to help this Vince Vaughn have a spin on the restaurant by using these revered recipes that have been accumulated over decades and generationally. And of course, everyone there's a little bit of friction that goes between the way things should be prepared. But stories like that, people pulling things together to make food that has now become almost, it's cherished, it's revered. And Kathy is familiar with the carrots, right?
So I heard you guys talking about the carrots, and I was just doing something on my computer and kind of listening. And then when you said pesto, I was like, oh, wait, the carrots. Like
They're literally a staple in pesto.
I know the carrots. They're delicious. They're some of the best carrots I've ever had at a restaurant ever.
Yeah, and it's so crazy how like the carrots of everything on the 5-page menu, they'll come in and be like, "You still got them carrots?" And I'm like, "Yeah, we still got them carrots."
And it was born out of poverty. It was,
yeah.
of being
32
creative.
years. Who would think something so popular was from?
I used to watch Mario Batali a lot on Food Network when his show was on there, and he's Italian is what he would specialize in, and he'd always said that Italian culture and cuisine was based on what you had around, what you had lying around, and putting it together and making it work, as opposed to seeking out all these exotic ingredients. And so something like your nonna's carrots falls right into that. And by the way, okay.
No.
And by the way, they're really good in vinegary, which is great. I started to pick at her. You know, I like to pick out things.
Yep.
And I'm like, okay, I'm picking up on this, that, and there's time in this. And I go, what else? And what did you say?
Sorry, it's a secret.
Can't tell you.
Legit, you're looking to get this.
In 32 years, no one has been able to even nearly recreate them. And we've been to a few restaurants that tried. Okay. And we were like, what are you doing with our carrots? And people are like, these aren't the same. And then they stopped it. But hell, like cheap. I was like, why'd you take our carrots?
In Italy proper, a lot of the cuisine is regional, right? So you'll get one type of cuisine in Venice and another in Rome and another in Naples. And then you get to the States and it becomes regional by the United States, right? So how would you qualify your Italian, quote unquote, Italian cooking? Is it regional to a particular part of Italy, or is it just sort of an Americanized version of what your nonna's cooking was like?
So actually, it's not Americanized at all. My dad won't even serve meatballs or lasagna at the restaurant. He believes that that's not Italian. That's not what he grew up on. That's not what they had in Italy. So he was born in a town in Naples called Avellino in Montella. So everything is very seafood forward.
Yeah.
Inspired by the sea, you know what I mean? Right near Passiano Coast, you know what I mean? It was all seafood. If you look at our menu, our number one pasta that we went on Rachel Ray for, the cavatelli that we brought, that has lobster, shrimp, and crab in our rosé sauce.
Wow.
So people come in and they're like, you don't have meatballs? And my dad's like, no, that's American. You want them? If you want meatballs, you go to Olive Garden.
Get out of here!
And I'm like, well, I like Olive Garden, Dad. He was like, get out of my face. Like, I actually went on Monday. Like, we do love it. You know, when you crave, like it's good Italian. We love Olive Garden. But when you're craving like McDonald's for a burger, you get what I mean?
Sure.
It's kind of that vibe.
Absolutely. I get it. Okay, so gravy or sauce?
Sauce.
Okay.
That's gravy goes on mashed potatoes.
There we go.
Simple as that.
But we heard from
even on Olive Garden menu, it says tomato sauce, Alfredo sauce. I don't know.
Is that? But okay, so I grew up with sauce as well, and I mean, I remember the first time someone was like, "No, it's not. It's gravy," and there was this argument. Like, where did that even?
Philly.
So Philadelphia Italians call it gravy.
Yeah, South Philly.
Okay.
I have no idea why. I guess
we had
meat
a caller
on it in it, but that's what we call bolognese.
Yeah, bolognese. We had a caller one time say, and she sounded like she's being honest, that she got backhanded for calling it sauce.
Yeah, her grandfather.
That's crazy.
That's right. That's right.
And I'm like, what?
Like the Italians off the boat, I never heard an Italian say gravy.
Okay.
Ever. And my dad will look at me like, you're nuts. We say crab gravy, but that's also a South Philly thing. If you go to a lot of South Philly restaurants, they serve crab gravy.
There was one bully at one point in South Philly. He's like, no, it's gravy. And everybody had to listen to that a-hole, and then they're still living that nightmare ever since, you know?
So, Gianna, where is Pesto for those who haven't been there?
All right, so we're located in 1915 South Broad Street in the heart of South Philadelphia. We're right across the street from the Constitutional Plaza, just to give people a visualization of where we're at. We've been there for about 20 years. We had another location that we left, and we moved into here because my parents bought 2 buildings on Broad Street. And they decided to bring both buildings together. They were right next to each other. And now we fit 200 people in the restaurant.
I'm sorry, what's a cross street or cross streets that are close to that?
So Broad is then Passyunk, McKean, and Mifflin. You're right in the middle there.
I know exactly where you're at. All right, perfect.
So it's amazing that you did this, and generationally, you have these secret recipes, and that's kind of the idea of the series is that you have these dishes that are unique to you. Is there a particular safe where these are stored? They're all in the mind? Are you storing in your brains? How do you keep track of everything and make sure you're staying on point?
So it's crazy that you say that. It is all in the mind. My dad will not write anything down.
Wow.
My grandmom gave him the recipe, and then we also brought in the cheesecake. That's my mom's mom recipe. and he begged her, please give me the recipe. She said, if anyone ever gets their hands on this, I'm going to kill you. And she's still alive today. You know what I mean? So he did not write it down.
Yeah, I love that.
Imagine her saying it in Italian.
I'm going to kill you.
In Italian, she said it. Yeah.
And this is the cinnamon.
That's the ricotta cheesecake top with the cinnamon. That's something she did for every birthday.
Wow.
So.
Yeah, do you speak a little Italian?
Yes.
How would you say I'm going to kill you in Italian?
Si mazza.
Si mazza.
That's a little dialect for Calabrese. I have to give her the ode to that because she's Calabrese.
So I just went to Italy for the first time in my life back in March, and I where I was in the northern part, like Milan area, and the pasta was al dente there.
Oh, you'll see our pasta is too.
Okay,
that's what I
just had. The cavatelli, or I'm sorry, is that what it's called?
Yes, the cavatelli.
Okay, but I couldn't tell because it's
more tender.
Okay, thank you. That's what I was going for.
Mm-hmm.
I prefer my pasta to be cooked all the way through.
Yeah,
and not al dente.
Most people when they come in there, we have to make sure we do perfect al dente, not too al dente, but not mushy. Because my dad's like, I'll never serve mushy pasta. Like that's gross. Right. And especially we cook every dish to order, so every dish is handcrafted. So al dente is a really big thing. For
So a little too al dente, you probably just get like your pinky cut off or something, not killed.
And people set it back, and then we're dead.
Yeah. Okay.
the carrot recipe, I kill you.
Well, the food is wonderful. Thank you for bringing it. I haven't tried the dessert yet, but we'll get into that later. That's ricotta cheesecake with cinnamon.
Yes.
Yummy. Oh, my God. All right. Thank you, Gianna. We appreciate it.
Thank you. I appreciate you guys.
No problem.
Congratulations.
Thank you. It was nice meeting you.
No.
Are there any grandmothers out there?
All right. So, text Netflix is 610-660-9333, and we have a $100 gift card to Pesto and a 1-month subscription to Netflix to somebody. And then we have a couple other restaurants that are here, too. Le Nonna's and Cafe Carmela. So we'll do some more giveaways throughout the course of the show.
Excellent.
A little bit. Nick wanted me to play some audio, and you can go grab a seat if you want. So thank you, Gianna. All right. So Nick, you want to set this up?
Yeah, so Pearl Jam's on tour. It's a very, in my mind, strange, somewhat limited tour. There's only 5 or 6 cities. They did the Jazz Fest last weekend. They're in Nashville. They were in Nashville last night, and then they're in Nashville again tomorrow night. The closest they're coming to Philly is Pittsburgh. They're there the 16th and the 18th. So this was a show about a week or so ago, and a nice listener sent it to me over Instagram, and it's a crowd video of Eddie telling a story. The story in and of itself is funny. We can listen to all of it if you want, but the reason I wanted to play it is it's Eddie on stage, just solo. He's about to do a solo acoustic set during the Pearl Jam show, and it's Eddie telling the story, but I could not listen to this story without hearing Steve Morrison's voice. And It's Eddie with an acoustic guitar and reverb on the microphone, and tell me if you disagree.
Okay, here we go.
I went to the grocery store, and for whatever reason, I just had to get my fruits and vegetables and protein and get the out of there, and I just wasn't kind of in the mood to be like hassled, even in a nice way. So I go into the produce section and I get a couple things. I got my cart, and then I look for a couple other things, and then I keep moving, and then sure enough, I wasn't there that long, and this guy started following me, and then I just kind of pretended like I didn't notice him. But now he's